Hey there, welcome to day 1135 of What's She Up To Now? Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, documenting my journey as I transition from the brick and mortar corporate world of business to the online world of business. Just kind of sharing every day, pretty much every day. I think I've only missed a day or so in the last 3 years, 3 years. It's right around 3 years. I think I started doing daily, keeping track of what I'm doing about 3 years ago. Because why? Why the heck? Why the heck do I share what I'm doing every day? Why do I share what I'm working on? Why do you care? Maybe you don't, but I like to think someone out there does care. Someone out there can learn by not making the mistakes I've made and taking a more direct route to what it is that they want to create, what it is that you want to create in the world online, whether it's offline or online, what it is that you want to do or create. And I'm thinking about wishes today because our idiom for supersize your business was, if wishes were horses, beggars would ride. And I'm like, I have no idea what that means. I know that it was a Scottish proverb and a nursery rhyme, but I'm like, I guess I know kind of what it means, but I have no experience with this idiom. I've never heard it. As a child, I don't remember ever hearing it. Maybe it was in a book of nursery rhymes my mom read to me when I was a really little girl, but it obviously didn't make an imprint because I didn't recall it at all until I started researching it today. And there's, if wishes were fishes, we'd all cast a net in the sea. If turnips, this is a weird one. If turnips were swords or bayonets, I'd carry one or have one at my side. I'm like, okay, if turnips were bayonets, I'd carry one by my side. All right, I get it. I'm not sure that brings up the visualization or the picture of what I'm trying to teach somebody or I'm trying to understand by saying that. And there's another one. If St. Anne's were pots and pans, if St. Anne's were pots and pans, there'd be no work for tinker's hands. So I don't know. That's a weird one too. I guess I'm not sure. I'd have to think hard about what does that mean to me. But the wishes one, if wishes were fishes, we'd all cast a net into the sea. Makes sense because we wish for things. As humans, we wish for things, but we don't make all of the things that we wish for go and happen, and we don't create them in our lives. We don't let ourselves have all the things that we wish for. Why is that? Lots of reasons, lots of excuses. But the truth is, we are the ones that prevent ourselves from having anything that we want in our life. We are the ones that hold ourselves back from going after our dreams and our goals and our wishes and our desires. We're the ones, other people, if we really want something, there isn't anyone or anything on the planet that will stop us from going after that and achieving that. I've got so many stories in my life and other people's lives and people that I've worked with that, once we get clear on what we want and we know what our destination is and where we're going, very little can stop us. Will there be things that get in our way? Absolutely. Think of going on a road trip. You're going on a road trip. Maybe you're going on a road trip, say Wisconsin. We live in Wisconsin, so we Wisconsinites, when it's not a COVID year, like to take trips down south in the winter or just trips to warm weather to get us a break from the cold and it gets nasty and cold here. It's beautiful, but it gets downright cold. And if we can't hide in the house all the time, which with COVID we can, got an excuse to, we like to get away and we like to travel down south to somewhere warm. Now, if we're going somewhere and say we're going to drive, we're going to put the destination in our GPS because we are blessed to have the technology of GPSs and navigations and maps and roads and the internet and all kinds of things like that can help us get to our destination. It can tell us ahead of time if there's road construction or roadblocks or storms or damage or things that we need to route around because we want to avoid the cities or we want to avoid highways. We want to take the scenic route. We want to smell the roses like we're challenged to do in our annual 365-day challenge this year is to do one thing every day that centers us. And it says, take time to smell the roses. So make sure you smell the roses today. So how can we, as we're going on this journey, make sure that maybe we decide we want to take the scenic route. We don't want to take the highways. We want to take all of the back roads and the small towns. We want to go through them all and we want to see them all because we want to have more of an experience and an adventure than just hopping in a plane and flying to someplace warm. Well, things can happen, right? Our best laid plans, there's bound to be things that happen, even on something as simple as going on a vacation or going on a trip or driving to work, right? We can drive to work and maybe there's a car accident on the way and the road's blocked and it takes us a half an hour longer to get to work than we had planned because there was an accident. Things happen all the time, every day, every instant of every day, throughout our entire life and throughout the lives of everyone else on the planet. Stuff just happens and our plans get thrown off a little bit. It doesn't mean we give up on our destination. It doesn't mean we don't go on vacation. It doesn't mean we don't do or create or have the thing we want. It just means we might not get it this instant. It's really interesting. We live in this instant world of gratification. You know, I order it on Amazon. I want it in 2 hours. You know, that's awesome and good, except do we really need the things that we order in 2 hours? Maybe, but a lot of times it's just a false sense of urgency that's being created by us or for us or by someone else in our life or our environment that says we have to have it in 2 hours. But do we really? Most things we don't really need in, you know, a short instant type amount of time. And most of the things that we don't work for, we don't appreciate. So the things that we get in that 2 hour window, pretty soon we expect everything to be at our fingertips in 2 hours. And will that happen? Will the world probably go more towards that? Yes. But then we're forgetting to be appreciative, be grateful, be thankful for what we have in our lives. We get to a point where we're running through our lives and we're not actually living our lives. We're living in the past, reliving the past, or we're living in the future for the future. And we're not remembering to be here now, be present now. The truth is, the only time we have is right now. The only guaranteed moment and instant we have right now is the present moment. We don't have a guaranteed future. None of us. It'd be nifty if we did have a guaranteed future and we knew exactly when our expiration date would be, but none of us do. And I think that's part of what makes life so delightful and magical and interesting is sometimes it feels like we have so much time, and it seems like the older we get, we realize we do have an expiration date. We don't have all the time in the world to create and do and be and have the things that we want, to have the experiences that we want. And so we better, you know, get off our derrieres and move toward those things. Some people just settle. And I've had periods of my life where I've just, you know, settled for what is and just gone for a little period of time. And then pretty soon my humanity or my human nature kicks in and says, yeah, this is nice, but it's not really the ultimate of what you're here for, what you want to create, how you want to show up, the experiences you want to have. You're just kind of coasting. And I kind of feel right now like I'm in this little bit of a coasting period. Whenever I'm not doing a challenge now of my own, I do other people's challenges, which is fun. And I, you know, get little pieces of information and it all helps to make me a better human being. But when I am not doing my own and leading my own 30-day challenge, since last year, I feel like I'm at these in-between periods. And to fill that last year, what I did is in between the challenges, I do like a 30-day challenge or a 45-day challenge. Then I would take like the rest of the month off or the part of the month off, and then I'd start another one. Well, in the in-between time, I started just doing daily information sharing or life lesson drops, things like that. Or we did No Nonsense November, where we talked about a principle or a thought or a belief or just a topic every day in November to get us to think about it, to pause and say, okay, I hear what you're saying. What does this mean to me? We always want to ask ourselves, but what does this mean to me? Anything we learn from anybody, anything we read, anything we see, anything we hear, anything we experience with any of our senses, we're automatically on a subconscious level asking ourselves, is this dangerous? Is this something I have to worry about? But beyond that, if it isn't dangerous or something we have to worry about immediately, a lot of times our conscious mind, it just gets filtered out and we don't even notice it. And some things we want to notice, right? We want to notice what's going on around us. We want to decide for ourselves and think for ourselves and ask ourselves, well, what does this mean to me? And a lot of times there's big global issues and worldwide things like that. I think politics and religion and other people's opinions. Bottom line, if I ask myself, well, what does this mean to me? The answer is absolutely, positively nothing. Other people's opinions of me, what does that mean to me? Nothing. Other people's politics, sexual orientation, background, beliefs, thoughts, feelings, what does that mean to me? Pretty much nothing, because they have to live their life. I have to live my life. And uh, we all have to do the best we can at any given moment. And so it's none of my business what other people think of me. It's none of my business. And a lot of people worry about that and manipulate that and create all these online personas and things, and want to be influencers, because they're really not comfortable with who they really are. They're authentic, real. And the word authentic is losing its power, because everybody's like, I'm going to be an authentic influencer. You know what? Just show up as who you really are. Really, really are. Share how you feel, what you think about things, your experiences, and that is being authentic. You know, teaching people how to put on makeup, if that's all you got, then that's the real you. That's the authentic you. Show up as that. Whatever. And maybe that's not a great example, but it's the one that popped into my mind. Just do what you can to make the world a better place. That's my belief, my thoughts, my feelings is do what you can with what you've got to make the world a better place. A lot of people are willing to make the world a worse place in order to gain personally. And that's a great short-term strategy for some. It doesn't work for me, but it does work for some people. But bottom line is you have to look yourself in the mirror every day, every night when you go to bed. So you have to be able to live with yourself. And each of us has to decide, what is that line in the sand for us? What is important to us? What values do we have? How do we want to show up in the world? So if wishes were horses, beggars would ride. Interesting idiom. And I'm sure I'm going to be thinking about it all day today, because I woke up thinking about it. I looked it up yesterday and I'm like, geez, here's one that I haven't heard. And every once in a while, I stumble across, and there's 25,000 idioms in the English language alone. Chances are I haven't heard a lot of them, but I'm always surprised because I end up doing the most common ones when I come across one and I'm like, I am just not familiar with that saying. I'm not familiar with it. And so then that gets me thinking about all day long, well, what does this mean to me? How does it fit into my life? How could I use it to fit into my life? How might it be impacting people around me? And I ask a whole slew of questions about it so that I can better understand whether I want this to be part of my understanding of my life or not. And some sayings, I'm like, yeah, I don't agree with that. It's not going to be part of what I move forward with, but I'm glad I learned what it means, because it might be impacting other people that I come in contact with. Maybe that's a firmly held belief for them. Maybe they actually believe that if they just wish for something hard enough, it'll pop up and appear in their life. I don't know. We all have different experiences and thoughts and beliefs. So that's what I'm working on. I guess I briefly touched on the Supersize Your Business Challenge, the 365-day annual challenge, and then mostly I'm just working with other people right now. On this downtime, I'm catching up and doing and helping other people to create what it is that they want. And I love doing that, but as I'm not doing a conscious project to move myself forward, I just have this little sense of loss. So definitely going to be pulling out the stops and doing one of those this week. All right, that's it. That's all I've got. If I can help you in any way, if you've got a question that you don't know who to ask, I might not know the answer, but I guarantee I can help you get to the next step of whatever it is you need to do. Get you the resource, hook you up with the right person, or whatever it might be. Sometimes we just need to be able to ask somebody and we don't know who to ask. So I'd like to be that resource for you. That's it. Have a great day. I'm going to sip my coffee, process my 3 videos, and go about my day. Be with you tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye. Don't wish, make it happen.